Hey everyone, Christina here. Today I want to talk a little bit about just kind of a follow-up from my last vlog where I was talking about the why and the reasons for quitting smoking, which I do suggest if you're looking at quitting smoking. Look at your reasons for wanting to quit as kind of a foundation you can provide for yourself to get yourself started, something to move from. So just to follow up from that, I wanted to talk about the point of not every way that is successful for someone is going to be the way that it's successful for you. Meaning the way that I quit smoking and how I quit smoking and why I quit smoking, because that worked for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you. It's very, very dependent on who you are and what works for you. So what I can say to this is that it took me 10 years to quit smoking after first initially considering it was time I probably quit smoking. So it took me 10 years to get to a point where I was ready within myself to face that relationship that I had created, the addiction I had created, the struggle it was to say no when I wanted to smoke, to walk through that relationship I had with smoking to change that. It took 10 years for me to get to a point where I felt I was ready. I, for a long time, over 10 years, thought, I didn't want to quit smoking because I really thought I liked it. I mean, I did like it. I liked it a lot. Sure, it probably provided some almost like a medicated experience where I felt like I was being medicated, I was using it for a reason. I liked it, but I was also addicted to it. And so while I knew it was probably not really good for me, my habit to it was definitely an addictive habit. It wasn't a supportive relationship that I had with it. I couldn't say no when I wanted to. I would sometimes have a cigarette in my mouth lit without even realizing I had pulled it out of my purse, taken it out of the pack, put it on my lips, light it up. I became so automatic to the habit, I would find myself in moments with a lit cigarette not knowing how it got there, not remembering I actually took it out and lit it and started smoking. So my relationship to it was very automatic, very just accepted. It is what it is. I never really questioned it. I knew society's views on it, which is it's bad, it's unhealthy, you shouldn't smoke. It's like all these, right and wrong morality type rules about it, yet they're sold in the stores for anyone over 18 or 19 to buy. So society's view is no, it's bad, you shouldn't smoke. But my view was I enjoy it, I get something from it, I get pleasure from it. I know that it's bad, I know that people have judgments towards it and people don't like it, but I don't have a desire to quit smoking. And so I had that for 10 years. And within those 10 years, I did attempt to quit maybe a handful of times. In the last 4 or 5 years, I would say I tried to quit like twice. One time was slowly trying to wean myself off of smoking. So I would go for a week where I would smoke 10 a day, and then after a couple days I'd go down to 9, and then I'd go down to 8, and then I'd go down to 7. And I did that for a while until I got down to 4 a day. I was on 4 a day for a few days. And it was the transition from 4 cigarettes to 3 cigarettes where I fell and I went back to my habit as per usual. And then after that, within the last 5 years, I quit cold turkey for 3 months, and I had given you previously one of the reasons why I wanted to quit smoking. And so that worked for about 3 months, and then I started smoking again, just back to the habit as per usual. Before that, I would say in the first 5 years of this 10 years that I'm talking about, I quit maybe twice, and the partner I was with at the time didn't smoke and didn't like it, so that was really supportive to get me to quit. But it was also, my reasoning for smoking was not clear. I didn't have the clear whys like I have this time, the clear reasons I really wanted to quit smoking. I didn't have those back then. I just thought I should quit smoking, and so I did. And I think I don't remember too well. I want to say that I quit for 6 months, but I don't know for sure. And so that didn't last, and then my partner started smoking actually, and we would be on and off smoking together and then quitting together and then smoking and then quitting together, and so that didn't really work out either, obviously. One time, actually prior to that, when I was 20 or 21, I quit smoking. Just in one moment decided to quit smoking because I was at I was at a birthday party of a friend of a family or something, and I had some family members there and some longtime family friends there, and there was one point where there was like 6 women surrounding me, all smoking cigarettes, and I went to go light up, and I thought it was the same in my other video where I talk about one of the reasons why in this moment when I was 20 or 21 I could see the generational cycles of I'm just next in line, repeating the same habit, living out the same pattern that these women that have gone before me did. And so in that moment, just seeing the hold that this habit had on my family and those around us, I was like, I'm done, I quit. And so I quit cold turkey in that moment, and just that decision and seeing that got me through, I think, a few weeks. And then I had to use the patch to keep me going a little bit longer, and then, I was young and I was drinking and going to the bars at that stage, and so eventually I got drunk one night and decided to smoke again and went back to the habit. So there's been a few instances in my life in the last, 10 to 12 years where I have attempted to quit smoking for various reasons. It's almost like it took those 10 to 12 years of me really looking at my relationship with smoking and like questioning it, but also not forcing myself to stop, knowing that I was clearly addicted to it, and it was, not something I felt I had a lot of power over. Even though I saw myself quit in moments, there was a really strong hold within me and that I wasn't ready to let go of. And so it took me over 10 to 12 years to finally feel like I had enough strength within myself to quit for good. So I just wanted to say that, I feel like I tried many different ways. So I tried quitting cold turkey, I tried using the patch, I tried weeding myself off, I didn't bother quitting, and then I would try to quit actively. And over the years, I tried different things. I remember even being on a pill that you took, and it would cause super vivid dreams, but it was supposed to help cut cravings. That didn't work. So I feel like I've tried a lot of different things, but each time I really didn't have a strong desire to quit. I just knew that on some levels I should. Within my own self-honesty, I see that I should, but then also based on society's views of it, that I should. So it really took me getting to my own self-honesty as to me seeing the relationship clearly for what it was and what it was creating in my life in terms of consequences and the effects it had. I could see what I really wanted and what really mattered to me, and how smoking was kind of getting in the way of that. That is what really has stood within me in terms of what I have to fall back on when I feel like I need to smoke. It's those principles as the pillars within me of why I decided to quit smoking. And so I just wanted to reiterate, I guess, the importance of looking at and establishing the why you're quitting smoking, but also realizing that it's going to be different for everyone. The way that I quit smoking isn't necessarily going to be the way that you're going to quit smoking. And it might take you 20 years, or it might take you no effort at all. It really depends on the person. And so there's so much advice and tips and people saying the way to quit smoking, this is the way that you do it. It's not the same for everyone. Everyone's going to have their own way that works for them. We're individuals, we're unique, and that's great. So then it's up to you to really push and see what works for you, to exhaust all options available to you. If you are really looking to quit smoking and you really want to quit, and maybe you don't want to quit, but you see you really should because it's having these effects on your life and you want it to stop, then be willing to push every avenue that's available to you in terms of the options that you have. And don't judge. Don't judge. Maybe you might be surprised what works for you. Another rule of thumb that I also gave to myself the last couple times I quit smoking was I gave myself a week to do what I needed to do to really just let go of this habit. So I watched a lot of Netflix. I ate a lot of peanut butter M&Ms. I basically like stopped everything I did, especially this last round. I had to stop a lot of the things I really like doing. Like I had to stop my daily routine because everything was a trigger, because I smoked around everything. When I got up, with my coffee, after breakfast, you know, before and after any activity, on my way to work, on my way home from work, on lunch. Like I smoked in between and before and after everything. And so I had to stop my routine completely. Like I had to just freeze for a moment and give myself just some time to experience myself without smoking. And so that worked for me too. You know, I didn't try to like push myself to do other things. For me, I was most comfortable in quitting smoking if I was able to just do what I really wanted to do in terms of like eating and how I wanted to spend my time. You know, some people might go and run a marathon after quitting smoking as a point that supports them, and that's great if that supports you. You just have to like find what works for you, and don't think because this worked for one person but it's not working for you that there's something wrong with you. There's not. You just need to find your way that's going to work for you, and definitely try out any suggestions that you hear. If you think it makes sense for you, try it out. And if it doesn't work, maybe don't give up yet. Try it a couple more times. But the point is that you're an individual and I'm an individual, and what works for me isn't necessarily going to work for you. So you have to tune into yourself and find out who are you and what do you need to quit smoking, and why do you want to quit smoking, and what do you want to do with yourself instead of smoking. This is really an opportunity that you have to get to know yourself, because that's essentially what you're doing. You're getting to know who you are without the cigarettes. It took me over 10 years to finally quit smoking, and I didn't necessarily even want to quit. It just became a practical decision for me to make. If you're trying to quit smoking and you feel like you've tried everything and nothing that anyone suggests works, I would say again, don't give up. Be willing to find what works for you. Don't think or have expectations that you have to do certain things when you quit smoking, or you have to eat a certain way, or you have to do certain activities. You don't. You need to do what is going to serve you in your decision of changing this habit. Be good to yourself. Be honest with yourself. What is it that you need? Well, these are the reasons why you want to quit smoking. Okay, so what is going to support you most in stopping this habit? Is it spending less time with certain people? Is it stopping your routine for a moment? Is it incorporating a new routine? Look at what is going to support you and try it. Just try it. There's nothing wrong with trying. And if it doesn't work, that's okay. You learn from it. You find, okay, it worked maybe in this area but not in this, and so you try something else. You tweak it a little bit, you fine tune it, and you go again and you try again. The point is you don't give up. You know, if you want something and you want to create something, you have to create it for yourself, and so you have to do the actions necessary, and you just find what works for you. I'm definitely here to support if you have any questions or you have any of your own stories to share. I'd love to hear it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.